Hi, grade 7/8. Here's a review of adding fractions with unrelated denominators. Let's do 1/7 plus 2/3. And remember, we know these are not related because none of them can multiply into the other. So we're going to draw a model of our whole like that. I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. Our model of the whole, and so first thing I need to do is model the 1/7. So I like to just go across like this. I need 7 strips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we've divided this fairly evenly into 7. So I'm only talking about 1/7, and it could be any of these. But I'm just going to add this whole 7th into my 1 whole. And now I need to add the 2/3. So I'm going to model the 2/3 the other direction. So I look at this, this is 1/3, this is 1/3, and this is 1/3. And I'm only adding in 2. So I've got my 1/7 and my 2/3. And it doesn't matter which 2, but I'll do this one and this whole thing. So I've got my model set up, and now I'm ready to do my adding. So first, I have to show that I have my 1/7. So I'm going to model that. And I have to put 3 dots in there because that whole strip is 1/7. And if we're talking about common denominators or equivalent fractions, I could say that 1/7 is equal to 3, 1, 2, 3, out of this whole, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's the same fraction. I can do the same thing now with my 2/3. So remember, this whole strip vertically is 1/3. So I'm just going to slide that one over there for now. And I'm going to model that I'm talking about this whole 1/3 plus, let me slide that over there, this whole 1/3. I could use the same color counter. I just like having different colors so I can remember that I have 2 different pieces being added together. If I do my equivalent fraction for 2/3, I could say that 2/3 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pieces that are 21. 14 21s, 21sts. So now I need to add them together. But these 2 pieces are being added twice. So I have to make sure that I'm going to move this piece over here so that there's only 1 being represented. And this 1/21st is going over here. So now I have these 3 pieces that were 1/7. I've just made them go over here. This piece is equal to this piece. This piece is equal to this piece. So I'm just showing you that I'm still talking about the same pieces. I've just moved them around a little bit. So now if I add these together, I have 7 here, 7 pieces there, 7 pieces there. So that's the 14 plus 3 more over here. So now I have 17 out of 21. And that's my fraction. That's my answer. That's my fraction. If you're using a common denominator algorithm, you might have ended up with 1/7 plus 2/3 is equal to 3 times 21 plus 14 over 21, which would equal 3 plus 7 is 3 plus 14 is 17 over 21. I hope that in this diagram you can see if you were doing the common denominator, you probably multiplied the 7 by 3 to get 21, which then you would multiply the numerator by 3 to get 1. And to get the same common denominator here, you would multiply by 7 and by 7. So if you know about common denominator, you would see that this model is really just a quick way to find a nice common denominator and to visualize it. You do not have to draw this drawing every time, but if it helps you, I would encourage you to do that. Let's do another example very quickly. So this time we'll make our fractions a little easier to work with, but still unrelated denominators. Let's do 3/4 plus 1/5. And so you should be thinking, how close is this to 1? We know that 3/4 is pretty close. 1/5 is pretty small, and it's smaller than 1/4, so it's probably going to be it's definitely going to be less than 1. So let's set up our model here. So we'll do our 3/4 first. 1, 3, 4. So this time we're talking about quite a bit. We're talking about 3/4. There's 1, 2, 3/4. And then I need to do my fifths modeled as well. 1, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, and 5/5. And this time, I don't know, I'm going to add this one. I like the middle one. Okay, I'm going to do this model a little different. This time, I'm going to color in my 4th. So I'm just going to lightly shade that. This one, this whole bar is so here's my 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. And if I think about my equivalent fraction, my common denominator is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 times 2 is 8. So 4 times 5 is 20. And I have 3 times 5, I have 15. So 3/4 is equal to 15. My 1/5 I'm going to represent with my dots again. This whole strip, there's 5 pieces going this way. And I'm talking about all of the ones in here, because that's the whole strip. So 1/5 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 20ths. And if I wanted to add them together, I can't overlap. So those ones have already been added in. So I still have these guys over here, these pieces that needed to be added in. So I'm going to put one here, one there, and one there. So 3/4 plus 1/5 is equal to 19 20ths, which is really close to 1. If we were doing the common denominator method, you can see that I took my 3/4 and I divided them into 5 pieces, so I multiplied them by 5, and these 3 pieces also by 5 to get 15. 4 times 5 is 20. And same thing here, I took my 5ths and I cut them into 4 pieces each. So 1/5 now becomes 4 of the 20ths. 15 20ths plus 4 20ths is equal to 19 20ths. That's a quick review of how to model adding fractions with an array. Hopefully that makes sense to you, and if you have any questions, you can put them in your notebook.